Yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty. It's a very cool week. Just to be even having a chance of that, I think that's the coolest part. Game's in a good spot. Obviously my last event was at the President's Cup, so game's feeling really good. Obviously we're gonna have some weather, so just trying to be really focused on my game plan for the next few days and try to just have a shot on Sunday would be amazing. Yeah, it's really interesting. Like the golf course is obviously, as we know, it's very gettable, and when you have a completely different wave, you might be able to fall back, but just you gotta be able to adjust with the cards that you've been dealt with, and you know again, like I said, just being able to hopefully on whatever I do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, if I can just have a shot on that back nine, that'd be amazing. I just didn't have a choice, right? With the whole new schedule now, the difference between being 50 and 51st it's a big difference. And I was, I think, 96th, higher 90s before I started that 9-week stretch, so I had to, and I think that's it's such a good product now that good golf gets rewarded. Good golf, you're able to take 3-4 months off and not worry about anything. Bad golf, you gotta pick your butt up as soon as once the playoff starts and try to play well in the fall. So, I had a lot of things on the line this year. I think that's why maybe some consistency, like consistent part of my games were a little bit off because it wasn't just golf. There's a lot of outside stuff that played in it, and I think 2024 was a big learning step to my career. I was dealt with some tough situations, and I've thought I handled it as good as I could have. I played as much as I could have, and I prepared as much as I could have, and I actually played really well. I felt like I made 9-10 changes before I started that 9-week stretch. So making changes and playing 9 weeks in a row was really difficult. But I felt like I put my head down and got to work, and definitely trended very well at the last end of the year. And it sucks to finish 51st, but from where I was from before that, I couldn't do anything better. Yeah, I think so. Ever since Memphis, I don't know how many weeks that is off. I played once in the last 7-8 weeks, right? If that's correct, since Memphis. So I've had some nice time off. I'm kind of coming back to seeing again. I'm seeing life again outside of golf, which is really cool. I got to be able to go home to Korea for 4 days after the playoffs, and President's Cup I felt like was a really good week for me, being able to, because going off of that stretch and taking 4 weeks off and then playing President's Cup at a high intense level, to be able to kind of perform pretty well in my eyes was good to see, and just showed my little off-season work kind of coming to brightness. So for that FedEx number, there's a lot of ways to look at it. For me, the way I'm looking at it is, if I can play good golf next year, it's not going to make a difference, because I looked at my elevated event stats, and other than Travelers, I didn't play well in any of them. So I made most of my points at Travelers and then outside of Travelers. So that's made me realize, okay, playing good golf outside the elevated events can get you to a certain point, but if I can play well enough, I'll get into elevated events, and good golf there is going to elevate me even more. I mean, as a player, it's something to be very grateful for, because everyone works to provide for someone or for themselves, whoever it is. And as a professional golfer, to be able to play, not only try to achieve your goals, but to have bonuses like a lot of prize money, it definitely is rewarding. I've been very grateful to be a part of this generation, where the money has now become overwhelming now. But it's like I said, I'm very grateful, and I'm very fortunate to be where in my life. I took it really the same week as I did. Dry heat definitely gets me a little off. For the last 2 years, I gotten sick every week because of the dry heat. I never grew up in dry heat. I was always in humidity, so I find a way to get sick. But I've been doing so good so far. It's only been 2 days, but we'll see how the week goes. But I think the last 2 years, because of the way I was feeling, I was just so focused on just getting my job done instead of thinking about trying to win. Because this course is made for making a lot of birdies, right? So it finishes. I shot, I think, 19 or 20 last year and shot 24 the previous year. So there's a lot of birdies out there, and I can remember for the whole week I never worried about trying to make more birdies. I was just thinking about pulling myself around the golf course and taking advantage of the holes that you need to take advantage. I think it's taking advantage. You have some holes where there's par threes are pretty long. You got some tough par fours, but then if you kind of plot yourself pretty well, the first 12 holes, you get to 13. It's very, very accessible par five. You got a really short par three, and then you got a drivable par four, and then you got another par five right away. So there's a lot of birdies out there. You just have to pick and choose when you want to attack, because you could play the most boring round of 6 under here. It's possible, because good ball striking gets rewarded. The greens are so perfect that it stays on your line. So I think that's why I've been able to do well, is because, again, it's not the longest of golf courses, so I can you have to plot your way around, and you can't just hit it 180 ball speed and hit it everywhere. You have to hit it straight. That's been the strength part of my game, and again, just you have to stick to your game plan and be pretty smart. I think 2022, that was probably the worst. I felt the worst in a while, so I can't remember a lot of shots, but I think last year on 15, I missed my drive right, and I had that chip, a little awkward downhill chip, and I think I was tied for the lead, or I had a one-shot lead, but I could have made bogey easily. But I hit a really good chip. I made birdie, which kind of gave me some room with the bunch up. I think there's like 7 guys bunched up, and it kind of gave me a little breathing room to attack 16, because I didn't birdie 16. I 3-putted 16, and I parred my last 3 holes. But that birdie allowed me to make one mistake coming in and eventually win by 1.